Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. In this video, I want to talk about another time where Meghan looks at Harry and, without a word, is able to control his actions. First, I'll give you an introduction into the event, and then I'll show you the clip, and then we'll talk about how these type of nonverbal cues can occur and how that might look in your own life. So this clip is from Harry and Meghan attending the 2018 Invictus Games in Sydney. In case, just as a refresher, the Invictus Games are an international sporting competition for injured and sick veterans and service people. So it's a very, very important event where the spotlight shines on people that have served their countries. This is a cause that's very important to Harry, and what we've seen over the last few years is Meghan pretty much hijacking the games. She usually goes in with attention-seeking behavior, and this contrasts so much with the respectful and supportive atmosphere that should be expected. Her actions, which involve like stepping in front of Harry, pushing Harry, and really putting on a performance, can be interpreted as a way of her trying to take attention away from the people who deserve the attention. This is who the event is for the people that are playing in the games. I've showed a clip earlier this week and I analyzed it where it seems like Meghan is entering the event like it's a Hollywood set, and this behavior really distracts from the mission of honoring the participants and their courage. Okay, so let's get into the clip. So you can see, as usual, Meghan is going first. She looks at Harry one time, and that's his signal to move forward. I used some software to try to clarify the image a little bit, so it does look a little less pixelated, but just so you could see their body movements a little more. So what I see in this clip is Meghan already is going against royal protocol and shaking hands first, and she signals to Harry by looking at him to tell him, okay, now it's your turn, now it's okay for you to move. I think on the surface this may not seem like a big deal, but when you've lived through it and you know what these subtle facial expressions and looks, how they're actually commands, you can spot it and see it for a little bit more of an intimidating signal than it might ordinarily look. So now I want to dive into a couple of different examples where narcissists can use a single look to control others, and I'll talk about their intent and the impact that could have on the person receiving the look. One example is intimidation. So sometimes narcissists use a single look to establish dominance. So this cold, piercing looks, it conveys this image of unspoken authority, and it almost demands submission without having to verbalize these words. Narcissists use this to discourage opposition or any disagreement. The intention is to instill fear or hesitation, signaling to their partner that any perceived challenge will not be tolerated. The person that's on the receiving end of this look might feel immediate discomfort or a sense that they're being judged. This often leads to complying with whatever it is that the narcissist is requesting or asking non-verbally, and they want to do this in order to stop the look. They want to avoid further scrutiny. Another reason could be that they're trying to show approval to their partner. So this is a controlled behavior, and it's almost like a reward system. By giving this subtle approving look, like it's a slight smile or a nod, it creates this reward mechanism. It makes the person on the receiving end crave the narcissist's acknowledgement. The goal of this nonverbal cue is to create a dynamic where the recipient places the narcissist's needs above their own. At the moment that the recipient gets this positive look from the narcissist, they might feel relief or elation because they are receiving approval. And people that have a pattern of people pleasing, and I'm one of these people, this will be a really, really calming effect, and it'll keep the person wanting to do things that get the narcissist's approval. This look sometimes could cause confusion or guilt if it's in a negative way. So it can be used to destabilize others emotionally. So an ambiguous or judgmental look, this could be as easy as a raised eyebrow or a smirk, can cause the recipient to question their actions or intentions. It'll have them replay the moment in their mind over and over again to see where it is that they could have placed a foot wrong. And usually, if they can figure out what they believe is the reason that this happened, they'll do their best to avoid that behavior or to avoid that action in order to prevent getting this negative look. And the narcissist's intention is just that. It's to create self-doubt or guilt in their partner or whoever is on the receiving end of this look, keeping them off balance and preoccupied, trying to understand what could have gone wrong. The recipient may sit there and dwell on this behavior. They might feel ashamed or confused, and they'll try to do things, maybe go a little bit above and beyond in order to try to appease the narcissist. Sometimes the look can be dismissive, or it could be an icy glare, and this is to communicate disapproval, rejection, or anger, and it's almost like a silent punishment. This could cause the recipient to feel shame or have a heightened fear of abandonment, and it'll prompt the person to apologize or overcompensate to try to gain favor again with the narcissist. So it's important to kind of think of this like what a biological response to this could be, and feelings of rejection can activate the brain's pain centers, similar to physical pain. Oxytocin, which is a hormone that's considered the bonding hormone, this is the one that when you're playing with your dog and you start to feel love, this is the hormone one of the hormones that gets activated. This hormone can levels could drop, and it could intensify feelings of disconnection. Sometimes a narcissist can give this wide-eyed or hurt expression look, and this can manipulate others into believing that the narcissist is a victim in a situation. This tactic causes the narcissist to deflect any accountability for an action they've taken, and it can encourage others to rally to their defense. So this is something that I've actually experienced. So this would occur in a group setting where the narcissist is playing the victim and is trying to garner people to their corner, and people that may not know the narcissist or may not know how to read them well may start believing their innocence because of this facial expression that they are conveying. So the actual recipient of the look, or the person that the narcissist might be blaming, this person might start to feel guilt even if they've done nothing wrong, and they'll become more inclined to appease the narcissist. What will happen biologically is that guilt can suppress dopamine, which is one of the happy neurotransmitters that's in our brain, and it can lead to feelings of discomfort or low energy. Over time, if this is repeated over and over again, this creates a cycle of self-blame and submission. Okay, this one is a hard one. So sometimes a narcissist might have a facial expression that is ambiguous and is to keep people guessing. This look creates uncertainty, and it forces the recipient to focus on trying to figure out the mood of the narcissist. This ends up making the narcissist the center of attention because the person is trying to figure out what's going on. And actually, this is very relevant to when I talk about and I say that I've learned to study facial expressions because I've wanted to learn when times are safe, right? So when I was growing up, words and actions didn't match. So I learned to really study facial expressions and body language to interpret what the situation would be or could be. So this is one of the things that narcissists do. They have this weird facial expression and you can't read it. It's done on purpose to create this confusion, to create this importance on what the narcissist might be thinking, And, ultimately, you're not a mind reader. You can't help but know. You can't know what another person is thinking. And to expect other people to do that, that is too high of an expectation. If you want something or you feel unhappy about something, it's really important to clearly communicate it, because ultimately, just like you can't read their minds, they can't read your mind. So that was kind of a tangent, but I just wanted to mention that. One thing I want to mention is that someone that is constantly in this type of situation, they're overstimulated because they're constantly thinking and thinking and thinking, and this can lead to fatigue and mental fog. This one is the final example, and this is one that Meghan uses on Harry all the time, and I'm sure that many of you have experienced this one, unfortunately, and I'm really sorry if you have. But narcissists often have two faces. So generally in public, they're charming, but then silently, they might have like minor facial expressions that are subtle and menacing, that are targeted toward their romantic partner or whoever their target is at that moment. This can lead to the person that's on the receiving end of the look to feel cognitive dissonance, which is a discomfort that someone feels when they hold contradictory beliefs or when actions contradict values. So let's give an example in a narcissistic relationship. So a partner might value honesty, but then accept lies from the narcissist. So for example, the narcissist would frequently break promises, but then insist that they're the perfect partner. The person on the receiving end of this look might justify or overlook the lies that align with this belief that they're in a good relationship. And what results is that this rationalization, it reduces their discomfort of the cognitive dissonance and keeps them trapped in this unhealthy dynamic. This can trigger a stress response, and it causes confusion and a heightened sense of alertness that drains mental and emotional resources over time. And ultimately, you can summarize this as walking on eggshells, because you're hyper aware of your partner, you're hyper aware of the facial expressions, you're very focused on making sure that you're getting approving glances from the partner rather than disapproving glances. So it's almost like there's this obsession. Literally, the narcissist does become the center of your world, because you are trying so hard to avoid the negative consequences that come with causing the narcissist to be disapproving of your actions or unhappy with your actions. Okay, so let's summarize all of this. Narcissists can use these looks and avoid direct confrontation while maintaining power and influence. Over time, the person receiving these looks may internalize these cues and modify their behavior in order to avoid displeasing the narcissist, or they might be trying to preemptively please the narcissist. This silent form of manipulation is both effective and difficult to address because it often lacks overt evidence. And I think this is so critical, because whenever you talk to someone that might be in a relationship with a narcissist, or they're just confused and they don't know what's going on, it's hard to put words to the experience. And these are the reasons why. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here. I'm curious to know what you all think about this. Please leave comments. If this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye.